It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Ester Krauz. Your maiden name was Goldberger, and you were born in Pressburg in Brataslava.
Pozsony needs a place for 3 names because it was always other the Hungarian one. It was part of Hungarian and so.
And you were born in 1935.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Yes, this is my father. And as I tell you, I have some pictures from the family, but we had to leave everything, of course. My mother had a brother in Belgium, and she sent pictures from the family. So what we have from the family is what she sent to her brother. So this is my this was the last picture. Some Hasene in the family before the war, the last.
This is and was this your family wedding?
Yes, it was somebody, a cousin.
Are you in the picture?
No. I was not born then. No, almost no. No, I was born, but no. But this. Yeah, is my grandmother, this person, she was here, is my grandmother.
Was it your grandmother from your...
This is from my grandmother from my father's side.
So you came from a very frum family, a very religious family.
Bratislava was the strongest Jewish community in Europe, Bratislava. It was very religious, but was very put a lot of is to think the girls should have also education. And we had to go, and not only education, also go to swim and to learn to swim, and so it was very, very beautiful community. This is what I know. Ask me a question and tell me.
Okay, so how many family members did you have?
So here is a picture. This is my mother and my father. These all pictures from my uncle. What
in Belgium?
Yes.
And where are you in this picture?
Not yet born.
No, you're not yet. Are these your siblings?
Yes.
So you had quite a large family.
Yeah, we had five girls. 5 girls and 3 boys.
And Esther, what did your father do?
He had Holzkohle,
fuel
heating materials, and this is him. Let me show you. I got this. Here is. And this is the house in Bratislava we lived. It does not look like nice, but this was in a beautiful place. And my mother, we did not live in the ghetto. We lived in a beautiful out of town, like next to the mountain. We lived, and my father was part in the community. He was like a shofar.
He blew the shofar?
On Yom Kippur.
Yomim Noraim? He blew the Yomim Noraim?
Yeah. And he was responsible for the Eruv in the town. Every Friday afternoon he went around to see if everything is okay, and So I remember in school that he has a chauffeur, yes, and I'm so proud. I'm standing next to him there. That is my father. Yes. So I showed you this. These are. I showed you this.
This is your. This was before you were born.
Yes, before I was born. And these are the girls of the family. And the little one is me. Was the youngest.
You looked all so happy, Esther.
What?
You looked very happy. You all looked so...
Yeah, we were happy. We had a beautiful life there. In Bratislava, the girls are beautiful life. There was everybody has to learn to swim, and everything. That was very unusual, but it's very Yekish brought up. They had to learn, and they have. You know, the Shabbosim, all programs for the girls. Was very nice community.
And did you go to Jewish school, kindergarten and a Jewish school?
Yes, I went in kindergarten. I remember something from kindergarten. Did I show you the girls? Yes.
It's a beautiful picture of the girls. Wow. What are the names of your sisters?
Names? My eldest sister is Leah, Sora Levia, what we call her Viele, Rochel, and then was a sister but did not survive. We went with my mother and me. Ira, yeah. Yeah.
And your brothers?
Brothers is a picture I showed.
I'll have it here. Do you remember the names of
Loki, Zelig, and Loki, Zelig, third, what was it?
And did they survive? Did your brothers?
None of them.
None of them.
And I was the last one who saw my brother, because it's a long story, and don't know where to begin. This is a long story.
So, Esther, what is your earliest memories?
The big memory, what a shock was that one day I went to kindergarten, my sisters to school. We met by the grandparents down in town where they lived, and then together we went up to our house, but it was next to the mountain. And the first thing, little things I remember, but the first thing was one day we come home and we see all our belonging on the street, and now the father and mother is not there because they are looking for a place to go. It was because the German came and Dafka wanted our apartment and threw out everything and took the and then we had to go from the beautiful house and everything to the Jewish place in the ghetto.
How old were you at this time?
5.
And you remember?
Yes, it's things I remember, yes. Of course, from there I remember a lot, yes. And people together, I remember that we had, my father made from the bathroom a sleeping room for the night, and the door like this we had to live. And that's.
And how long did you stay in the ghetto?
Not so. I don't have a lot of memory. Only this bathroom, not very much, because my mother was very that did a lot also for the community, and he he wanted to ask all of us to escape to Hungary, because Hungary, the war became much later. So first she sent, and did not send us together, that, if it, not should be Chas v'Shram taken all of them. And I remember I'm going with one of my sister and with my father.
Do you remember which sister?
Yes, of course I know my rich sister, but she is not alive, this sister.
What was her name, the sister you went with?
Rochel.
Rochel.
Yeah. And I remember this, my waking, because I was doing a little bit walking but myself, but waking up that my father is taking me on the, because we had to walk, and then on the way we had to stop and hide between the on the side, inside, but not on the way, because a car from the Germans went through, a motorcar side from went through. Then my father spoke Hungarian, because once it was Hungary, Czechoslovakia. So until we arrived to the made it to Hungary.
And it was your father and your sister and you?
Yeah, my father, and then the other two sisters also came. My mother did not manage. She was with my other sister, one sister who was 1 year older than me, or two, this here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never survived. Do you know what happened to your mother?
In Auschwitz.
Oy.
With my sister, this sister. She never, just had a yahrzeit today.
Today's the yahrzeit.
My mother, yes. I mean, we made the yahrzeit of her mother the same day, because we don't have a date for her.
And your sister as well?
For my sister. Yeah.
When did you find out that your mother was taken to Auschwitz?
After the war, we were always hopefully to meet her, to do. But I was also
And did your father, it's such a hard question, but did your father ever have regrets that you all didn't go together?
How can you? This was normal that it was normal not to go together, because if you don't have a muscle and the German cap you, then at least the other stay alive.
And Esther, do you remember the Slovakian fascists? Do you remember seeing any of the Slovakian non-Jewish fascists?
I don't remember so much, but my sisters remembered. Yes, of course, I remember them. There was beautiful young girls, and you don't know German, but they went on the street. Of course, they could not say that they are Jewish, and they were blonde. Nobody thought that they are Jewish.
You can see, yeah. What a beautiful family, Esther. What a special family.
Yeah, yeah.
And Esther, did your parents know Rabbi Weissmandel?
Don't know. I was too small to know all these things and names and so on.
And what happened when you got to Hungary?
They put me by a family that did not have children, and they said that I couldn't speak Hungarian. So they said that I'm from a place in Hungary what is next to Germany, and they speak German there. So, but this family was Jewish, and they also did not have to know that they. So I was like coming from there, and this family originally was also from Czechoslovakia. So when they spoke, they wanted that I don't understand what they say. They spoke in Slovak, and I of course understand what. And they really this there was a very very rich people, and I was taken to the school in a car. And in those days, taking the school, we had to take to change your shoes. You take to all kinds in the school, and of course every day, the food in Hungary was also on
rations.
Yeah, and I did not have papers. So my father came like a good friend from my mother far away and brought not real, false papers that So it went on like this for months, for other months. So I saw my father every month.
And Esther, what town were you in?
What?
Which town were you in Hungary? Which town?
In Budapest.
This was in Budapest?
Yeah.
Do you know which part of Budapest?
The center, the nice, the good place.
And the name of the family that took you in, do you remember?
I remembered, I cannot, I can see them, or you more, not so much see them, but because the nicest, they originally, I told you, was from Slovak, so I understand when they wanted to speak secret, so I understand what they're saying.
Were they nice to you? Were they good to you?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Loving, they were very loving.
Yeah, very nice.
And your sisters, where were they placed?
Everybody in other place.
And did you get to see your sisters during this time?
No, no. So, and then telling you only that it was there, one day I hear them speaking between them in Slovak, and she said, listen, she's already 6 months here, and always has to bring the papers from far where she comes. What is it? We will go to the time hall, and we'll ask her why she cannot get her papers. This was food papers, yes? When she cannot get it here. So when my father had to come to bring me, I waited for him outside, and I told him what I heard. So he did not come in. He left. He went back. He came with a suitcase, and he said, my mother is feeling much better, and she absolutely wants her daughter right away back. So they could take me, because they wanted to go to announce that what happened at the annual. And so like this I left there. And then I went to my auntie, what was in a faraway place, not in the main town, and I was there for a few years. It was 3 years in that.
Do you know the name of the town?
Where they was I forgot this minute. I forgot. It was not a big town, but not in the main. And then came out a law in Hungary that every children until 15, I don't know, can be, even if they came, if refugees, they can be registered. So I became registered in Hungary by my auntie. And when the German came in Hungary already, it was later in almost much
44.
later. The first thing, they went to collect all these children. And I see my auntie crying that they're taking me away. And then she with her all girls, and they did not survive. And I'm here.
They took you away?
Yeah, they took me away and put me in the verse, in the verse, better soar, how you say?
It's like a prison.
A prison, yes. Put, and then they took all these little children, what they collected, because it was easier, because they were, they knew where to look for them. They went all together, and my sister managed to take me out from there. And so because all these children went to Auschwitz, but she managed to send somebody with money, and then they took me out from there.
She saved you?
What?
Your sister saved you?
Not once, yes, she saved the whole family, she was wonderful. This sister, she died just now, a year ago.
Which sister was it?
The oldest one.
The oldest,
She was very special. She was, you know, she was very special. She saved all us from the family who stayed alive. She saved. Yeah, she did. She was very, very, very. In everything, she was very, very good. Like my mother. Yeah, she was mamash. Yeah.
Do you remember her taking you out?
Yeah.
Do you remember leaving?
No, she could not, because
she sent somebody.
She sent the guy. I had to. There was they hold the children not in such a very, with such little children, how can they, no? But inside there was somebody who helped, and they told me, this night don't go to sleep, and when I give you a sign, go out, and you have to, there was to go over, yes, and she gave me a sign when I have to get up, and then outside no Jewish woman was waiting for me.
And did she take you to your sister?
Take me, yes.
And do you remember that encounter when you met your sister?
Yeah, I remember that they all sit in place where they were, and they said, I heard in German, it seems that also today she won't come. They managed to take her. I heard them saying that when I just arrived to them. Yeah. And then we went back. Then it was calmer in Czechoslovakia, and we went back to.
So I want to ask you, your sister managed to save you, and who else did she save?
The whole family. She did everything. She did everything.
So your other sisters, except for your one sister that went with your mother?
Yes, and the other two sisters, in the end they went to the partisans, they have to escape.
And your father escaped as well?
Yeah, he survived.
He survived?
Yeah. So they escaped to and
And were you living in Budapest at this time?
No, but we went back to Czechoslovakia.
No, but when you were taken out of the factory, out of the where you were kept, when your sister managed to get you out, where were you living? In which town?
In Budapest.
In Budapest.
Yeah, and then we went back to escape back to Czechoslovakia, but there it was better.
So I want to ask you, what do you remember about when the war ended?
Yes.
Do you remember the Russians invading? Do you remember in 1945 when the war was ending?
I have a long story until going there. I was in they put me in the cloister. They say where the Goyish children are.
A monastery?
A monastery, yes.
You went into a monastery?
Yeah. It was terrible.
In Budapest?
No, when we went back in Czechoslovakia.
But do you remember when the war ended in Hungary?
Not in Hungary, no. In Czechoslovakia. Because we went back to Czechoslovakia.
When did you go back? Had the war already ended, or
no?
Because before
because then in Czechoslovakia in Hungary we could not stay anymore because we went there. So we went back, and there it was a little bit better.
So you went back to Czechoslovakia during the war when the war had ended.
Yeah. Because it was better. Sometimes I said that they let the Jewish people come out from the hiding, that they can up again.
And where in Czechoslovakia did you stay?
In Bratislava.
You went back to Bratislava?
Yeah, in Bratislava, and they put me in a monastery.
And your sisters?
The sisters, they lived like Goyim, yes. No, this was time they could be like Jewish. But it became a little bit odd, like me. They put me in the monastery there, and then one of the men who had also a son in the monastery. He was caught by the German, and they told him. He said, "I'm not going without my son." So he said, "Where is your son?" "In the monastery." So in the monastery they thought that they obligated him to say this. So they sent the other boy, not him. So he said, "No, this is not my son." So the German said, "Oh, in the monastery, 2 Jewish boys, let's go see what happened there." So they came and took all the Jewish children, and it sent us to Terezen.
You went to Terezen?
Yeah. But it was already toward the end.
How old were you when they took you out?
To Terezen? What was it? I was already 5, or because it's a 5, going 5. I mean 5 for sure. 6.
And do you remember Terezen? Do you remember it?
Yeah, of course. Because Terezen was for sure it was not the worst place.
It was like a transit.
Yeah, a little to show for the Red Cross that is not so bad. They prepared. They wanted to, but they did not make in time. It was they already prepared to finish all these Jews there, but they did not do in time. But my story is very long because I got the war ended. It was not so bad because a certain time we got half a loaf of bread for the whole week. So I with my friend, we made cheshbon, that if we eat outside or the inside, the outside will hold longer and so on. So until we came, they took all the little children together and then was not, in the end was not so bad. It was not alone on the street.
How long did you stay in Terezen?
A few months.
And did anybody else from your family, were they there as well? Any other sisters or?
But
were you the only sister that was in Terezen?
Yeah.
And you
with other children.
But you didn't know what happened to your sisters or to your father?
No. And the problem was, my story is very long.
No, it's unbelievable.
The war finished, and they said all the people who go to Bratislava to come to the station and bring you stuff, and we arrived there.
So I just want to ask you, Esther, when you were in Terezen, were you very hungry, or did they give you food?
In the beginning we were hungry because we were only two little girls. We managed, and then and there was a person, because before coming to Terezen there was where they collected all the Jews and sent them together. And there was somebody who worked in the place, a Jew who worked in the place, and my sister sent food for me through him, because she was there. She was there before I was there, because this my sister's story is. I must tell you. The German took us, I don't know how many times, 3 times for sure, and she never said she is Jewish. But in the last time that they took her, somebody, I don't know, she did not manage to escape. So, but to see all 3 older sisters, they said before the war, they know already what happened, that they will never arrive to Auschwitz. If they have to find how to escape, if they don't escape, but life, they don't go there.
They knew about it?
Yeah, they knew already about it. So my 2 sisters with me, my father managed to hide and escape, but this sister, no. And before there was some Jew who worked, and she asked him some ammunition that she can open the train and escape. And the train for Auschwitz, she opened the train and escaped.
She managed to get out?
Yes. She managed to open the with the pieces that she took, and she did that. And but the Jewish people in the train who took them to Auschwitz, they did not want to let her escape down, because the Germans said, if one escape, 10 other people will be shot. So they hold her. They did not let her go. They don't want to be there. So there was a woman, a girl. She was very ill, and she said, "Listen, I can live until I have this medicine. So why you don't let young people to escape?" They don't want, because if they know, other 10 people will be shot. So she had to take her off from the hand and there was another girl, and they made a sign that if I can think, okay, to make a sign to the other also jump. But the other one luckily did not wait to her sign, because she fell down and she did, and she jumped also down. so she could take her out from me. She was my sister. A year ago she died. She was wonderful. She was unbelievable. She was my mother, 100% my mother. Like my mother, what she did not do and help people and everything. She's also, because she helped other people to escape, and she was too late already.
And Esther, what do you remember about when the war ended in Terezen, when it was liberated?
A very, very long story. A very long story. Because they said, all the
who
people who go
liberated? Do you remember the soldiers coming into Terezen?
To the soldiers who after the war. Yes, we were waiting, and they did not come, and then they arrived. Yes, I remember when they opened and people could go out.
And were they the Russian soldiers?
No, there was not the Russian soldiers. No, there was I don't know, but I don't think there was the Russian soldiers, because I don't remember any. No, there was not the Russian soldiers.
But you remember the liberation of Terezen?
Yeah, they are coming in. But everybody who goes to Bratislava to come with all this stuff, so I went. But
I just want to ask you, Esther, how did you feel knowing that the war had ended?
Oh.
How did you feel? There must have been...
It was a big...
celebration.
Yeah. But that you can go home.
And were you given a lot of food when you were liberated?
Yeah, I did not. When they took us, like all the children, never was a question of food. I don't remember anything. We had food.
Can I just ask before, when you were in the monastery, was it very, very difficult being in the monastery? It must have been very hard for you to be...
It was very, very bad, because first of all, I did not want to... They got only Saturday, they got something not kosher. Not everything was not kosher, but meat or something there. So I could not know how to do it, to hide it in my dad, not to eat it.
And you knew it was not kosher?
Yeah, of course. Of course I was I am Jewish. And I had a other name, and I had to do the...
What was your name they gave you?
Don't remember. A long time I remember.
And did you have to sing the hymns and all the...
Yeah, but instead of saying the every 2 times a day you have to go into the... I only said, I made like I'm saying, but I said Schlag soll dich betreffen. Schlag soll dich betreffen is like not a nice word in Germany. You should be the Schlag, like a bad thing should take you. But only the head know that we are Jewish.
The head man?
The head in the monastery, yes, only the head knew, but the nuns did not know.
And the head, was she nice to you? Was she
one was very nasty, because she thought that she was very nasty to me.
One of the nuns?
Yeah, because she wanted to take out from me that I'm Jewish. She was very nasty for me. I remember that she put me to stay in the corner, and she said, when you ask slicha, when you ask, I let you go. Forgiveness, I let you out. I said, I'm not asking her, and I was standing there for hours.
And she never let you go?
And then no prayer, and she let me go.
And do you remember when the Germans came in and they took you out? Do you remember that incident?
Yeah,
they put you on a train?
Train? No, I don't. It wasn't a train. Was a train, like a car, not a car, not a nice car. Yeah, take it. All the boys was no problem to know who is Jewish, and then they got it. Yeah.
And when you left, what happened to the lady who knew, the main mother superior of the convent? Did she say goodbye to you, the woman who knew that you were Jewish?
What was it? Yes, she tried to, when they put me in the row on the side, she tried to take me out. She made me a sign to go, and I was already a little bit on the way, and they saw and shouted, and I come back.
She was a good woman.
Yeah. It was the other, not the one what I hated. So, but my story did not end there. I had a long story. I had many months. No, so Czechoslovakia, and who goes back to Bratislava to bring the stuff? We are going. I brought my stuff, and they said, leave it here because it won't be today, it will be tomorrow. Is coming to take you the train. Between the today and the tomorrow I got ill, and all my stuff went. Arrived in Bratislava, and I am not there, and all my stuff comes on, so my father and my sister are waiting for me. So I said, where is she? Where is she? Probably died on the way. So if she died on the way, we go to look for her. Where? And then somebody they met somebody who knew what happened, that I did not, because I got ill, and I did not do that. And then it took months until they found me.
Where were you when you were ill?
Still in Terezen.
In the camp?
Yeah, because it was not anymore in Germany, yes? I was there, but then they did not know what to do with me. And they sent me in an orphanage house in Prague. And until my sister, my sister, Alaa Shalom, until she managed, meanwhile from the orphanage, a family wanted to take me. So finally she found me in there, and this family said she had to come by train from Bratislava to Prague, they said, who are you, shall we give you? So she had to go back to take all the documents they should let me go. It took all the time.
And how was the encounter when you met your sister after all these months? It must have been very emotional when you saw your sister.
No, sister, I saw my oldest sister, yeah.
But you must have been, that she survived and she came to see you, to rescue you. Yeah. Did she come with your father?
No, my father, no. She did.
She was amazing person.
Amazing person.
And Esther, how was when you met her after being in the orphanage? How did you? It must have been so emotional when you saw her after all these months.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
How did she recognize you?
She knew, not recognizing me. She knew when she arrived. She already knew where I am.
And how old was your sister at this time? Because
she was 18.
It's amazing. This is your older sister.
Yeah.
What an amazing person. And from there, she took you back to Bratislava.
Yeah.
And you saw your father and your other sisters?
Yeah, of course. But the journey was also, in those days after the war, it was terrible, and there was all the Russian around, and they behaved terrible. They liked watches, so they just took watches out from everybody, every person who had on the train, waiting for the train. They were there. I hear this shout, but they don't mind if they take their hand when they take the watch. It was not so nice. Okay,
and Esther, when you saw your father and your sisters, how was that reunion? It must have also been so emotional. You can imagine.
You can imagine this. But it took a long time, months and months, until they found me. Until they could bring me.
And your other sisters were all together with your father?
Yeah. My other two sisters were the whole time with my father. And they went to the partisans in the end, when they could not stay like not Jewish people my father did not speak Slovak, so he could not, he played a person who cannot speak for the Goyim should do that. Then he was like a person who cannot speak because he did not speak Slovak. Not so easy story.
And when you came home, did he have a apartment in Bratislava? Where did you stay when you came back to Slovakia?
No, our apartment we could not get back because I told you that
they took it away.
Yeah.
This was the apartment.
Yeah. It doesn't look so nice, but it was a nice apartment.
Does it still
for
exist?
today, the picture is but it was a good apartment, very good place.
So where did you stay? Was it in the in the city centre? Did you stay in the Jewish area when you went back?
After the war, you mean?
The war.
I went. The Swiss people took little children for a holiday to Switzerland, and children until little children. So we went for 3 months, but in these 3 months I got ill. And I was in the hospital. They left, and I in the hospital. After the hospital, they sent me to a place where Jewish youngsters were preparing to go to Eretz Israel. I was there for a time. Until my sister managed that they put me on the aeroplane and bring me to Antwerpen. We went by there to our uncle in Antwerpen.
Your father and your sisters were now
were already in Antwerpen, yes.
In Belgium?
Yeah.
And you were all reunited in Antwerp?
What?
You all were together in Antwerp?
Yeah, we were in Antwerp. And then my sister got married to a boy who wanted her already when she was 15. That's the story. And we came to my two sisters and me and my father came to Eretz Israel.
What year did you come?
Before the Medina.
Before?
In 47. In 47, because the British gave permission, all these boys who were in the army fighting together against the German, could bring their family to Eretz Israel. So you can imagine how big the family was for every boy. And I don't remember what was our name, who was my brother, my sister, I had so many. And so we came in 47 to Eretz Israel.
And where did you live when you came?
I was in the Kinderheim. In Eretz Israel.
Where, in which area?
In Bnei Brak.
In Bnei Brak. So you were in Bnei Brak when it was starting?
What
when
is?
Bnei Brak was being established? From the beginning? You were nearly...
No, I don't know when it began, but before, but in 47 we came. Yes.
And you stayed here ever since?
Stayed there for my eighth class. And then we went in another place in another place where we were, where older girls, children were.
And Esther, can I ask, what happened to the remainder of your family, to your Baba and your Zayda and your uncles and aunts?
What? Oh.
What happened to your other relatives from Brataslava?
Very little survived. Very little survived. Very little.
Very little.
Yeah.
And your father, he managed to find work here in Israel?
In Eretz Israel?
In Eretz Israel?
Yes, he worked in... First he said he always wanted to come to Eretz Israel. And my grandfather did not let him, because you will be shegitz in Eretz Israel if you come. He was not enough religious. He always wanted. And he said, in German you said, lieber zu sein a Schuster in Eretz Israel, a Schuster wie in Goles a Minister. So actually my father said this, who wanted to come to Eretz Israel. So we came.
And you happy you came?
Of course. I grew up. This is this was my place. Yeah.
And did you ever go?
I was 11 when I came there.
And Esther, when did you find out that your mother and your sister were taken to Auschwitz? How old were you when you found out?
And they did not come back, and there was no other. There was hope all the time, and then everybody came back, and it did, and they not.
And did you speak with your father and with your sisters about the Shoah? Did you speak with each other what happened?
We knew, everybody knew.
Did you speak,
we lived together, we knew.
But did you speak a lot about it? Or?
No, there was, you wanted to, not to think about it and to live, to advance and to live. Otherwise you could not in these memories the whole time.
And Esther, did your friends ask you, your friends at school, did they ask you how was it like being in a monastery, or how was it like being in Terezen? Or?
I don't know if I told them the story. It was not, everybody had his story, you know. It was.
And have you ever been back to Terezen?
No.
Would you want to ever go back, or to Brataslava, or?
In Bratislava I was.
You was?
Oh, we went there. We lived in Bratislava sometime.
After the war?
After the war, after my sister got married in Bratislava, and then we came to it.
And Terezen, you've never been back?
No.
Esther, you've got some other, can you show some of the other pictures that...
No, this, I showed you the picture of my mother.
No, this is, wow, your mother was a very, what a special lady, Esther.
She was. This is my grandmother, but they made a nice colored picture from her.
And she didn't survive.
This is a picture. A picture what we have is from the uncle. What was in we had to throw away. These are the first little children from the family.
This is your wow. This is your brother and your,
yes.
And your sister.
My father and the two.
And your father's bending down.
The three. The first were the oldest. No, the second were the boys.
And this is in Bratislava.
Yeah. This is my father in Bratislava. This is my uncle who was a big Rav.
Rev Benjamin Ze'ev Cohen.
Yeah.
Was he a Rav in Bratislava?
No. I don't know even. This was the last chassan in the family. And this is my picture after the war and after I finally met my family.
And who's the other lady? Is that your sister? There's another lady in the picture?
My own other sister, yes. This is when they finally found me back and after the war.
It's amazing.
And these are the girls of the family. And this is my wonderful oldest sisters that all be alive this because of her. And this is already, and this is her after the war. This is a picture what we have. This is one uncle. He also in Eretz Israel already.
You came from a very, very religious family, very Chosheva family.
And that's me in 47 already. And that's all what I have.
And Esther, can I ask, in all this time, you always kept your emunah?
Yeah.
Always?
Always, yeah. No, in the monastery, I daven. Every night, of course. And
you would say the Shema?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
In the monastery?
Yeah.
And Esther, you remember when the state was declared in 47?
What?
When the state was declared in 1947? The partition plan, and then the state was declared from the United Nations?
Very little.
But the War of Independence, you remember the War of Independence?
Yeah, I was here. Yeah. I was the first running a shelter. I said, I was getting enough. I heard this. I don't want to hear it again.
So, Esther, this has been just absolutely unbelievable. You know, Esther, there are not many children that survived Terezen. There are very few children that survived the Terezen camp.
I don't know.
There are not that many that survived. So they say that it's less than 100 survived from Terezen. It's quite incredible. So Esther, if I can ask you, what message do you give to the future generations? You've lived through the most cataclysmic events in Jewish history, the most amazing events. You've lived through the Shoah, the destruction, and you've seen it firsthand, and then you've lived through the rebirth. And unfortunately now we're living through very difficult times again.
We have to see to hold to our country and to live here, because there's no future for Jewish people out what we see. They have to come to Eretz Israel.
Well, Esther, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. I just want to thank you, Esther. Wow. Esther, really, I am extremely grateful to you, Esther. Really, I know this wasn't easy for you. I know it's very difficult. And there are no words to tell you how grateful I am. Really, you are remarkable. Esther, thank you so much. You should just have mazel bracha.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you very much.